Hello and welcome to Debbie Loves Designing. Well, today I'm going to make a lovely bracelet. It's going to be wire wrapping. I'm going to be wire wrapping the loops and using these lovely alphabet beads and some silver chain. So I'm going to be using these beads and the alphabets. It's going to make the word happy, but obviously you can just use what beads that you have. So you're going to need a lobster clasp of your choice. You're going to need about four, I'd say you need about 4 jump rings. And also if you have a little piece of chain, because like a chain extender if you've got. And also you're going to need about 24 gauge wire, and I've cut them into about 5 inches. This is silver wire, but you can use copper but make the gauge about 24. And for the tools, you're going to need a cutter, flush cutters. You're going to need flat nose pliers, round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and I've made a mark on the round nose pliers because that's going to be the size of the hoop. So I've made it with a bit of Tipex. So if your ones, because mine are black here, that's why I had to use white Tipex so I can see it. You can use a bit of nail varnish, or if you've got with the silver colour there, you can use a felt tip pen, anything to just mark it. And also, you're going to need some chain, some jewellery making chain. I've cut mine into 2. And also you're going to need like a little piece of paper for measuring and perhaps a pen, but that's later on. So let's start. So what you're going to do first of all is pick up some jewellery making wire. I've cut this into 5 inches. Then what you're going to do is sorry, that's just my ruler. Measure about an inch inside, 1.5 inches inside, 1.5 inches down, roughly. So at that point, you're going to pick up your round nose pliers, and you're going to hold your round nose pliers and make sure that you put that at the mark. Put the wire at the mark. So that's about 1 inch down. I just got to measure that again because I moved it, but I want about 1.5 inches downwards. That looks like 2. Yeah, that will do. So what you do is you're going to hold it like that, and then you're going to take your finger and move the wire round. So it should look like that. You've moved the wire round like that. So what you're going to do with the shortest bit, so you've just kind of moved it on the top. So this shortest bit here, what you're going to do is take it and then you're going to wrap it around about 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times. So take it there, wrap. We're going to make some coils, okay? So 1, make about 2 or 3. And the more that you wrap it around, the harder the wire is going to get. And when you wrap it around, keep them close together. Keep the coils close together. So that's one. And that's another one. But try and keep them close together. Not too, but don't wrap them tight, because if you wrap them tight, very, very tight, they can break. So just have them near to each other and tight, but not like suffocating each other like that. And then you shall just remove these pliers. Now what I find a lot of time that it looks lopsided, and I don't like how that looks, so I will put it back in at the mark and gently move it across so that the hoop is centered. So then you'll take it out and make sure you go back to where that mark is. See that mark is there. So kind of go back to that so you can keep it in that hoop size. So take it away and make sure that you want it to be nice and central. Like that, so it's fairly central, and the hoops, the coils are wrapped round. Now we're going to take away the excess of it. With this kind of thing, you do end up wasting a bit of wire, but it's not that terrible. So what we're going to do is take the back of your flush cutters, back there, and then you're going to cut a piece off. And be careful because this might sort of spring somewhere. So just kind of cut it like that. Yeah, it kind of springs somewhere. Now we need to press this down. So to pick up your chain nose pliers, we need to tuck this in because we don't want no sharp edges. So just open it and kind of tuck it in. Kind of move the hoop and tuck it in. That. Press it in. So I'm kind of taking this around softly to tuck it in. Take the tip of them and just kind of edge it round, go round and just kind of cut down till it's, so we want the hoop central and this piece nice and straight. So it should look like this. It reminds me like a rope actually. So central hoop, this wrapped round 2 or 3 times and tucked in. And then what you're going to do is pick up the bead. I'm going to put happy, so it's going to be sort of like that. So that's a H for a happy. Now, next is I'm going to pick up my little piece of paper. Skimpy piece of paper here, right? And you see between the loop and the bead, that little piece there. So with I've marked a bit of pen. You see, I've marked that little bit of pen there, and I've measured. Oh, it's focused. I've measured here. Okay. So when I turn it around, I know where to put my round nose pliers. So I pick up my round nose pliers, right? My round nose pliers, and then I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to put it and get it on. That's it. Right. With the wire, I'm going to position where this. Mark is. Okay, you see that mark there, because I want the hoop to be the same size of I want all the hoops to be the same size. So I'm going to carefully put the piece of wire so that it's that size, right? And then I want this, you see the size of it here? See that size? I want it the same size here, so that's a bit too wide. So I'm going to move it in a bit more, and I want, let's measure here. See, I'm measuring here. I want this the same size, so it's going to be right, because we want the size of this, we want the size of these two, this to be the same. The size between the hoop and the bead, the twist to be the same size. Right, so we're going to twist again by taking this and moving it all the way up and wrapping it all the way around, like so. And then we're going to wrap it the same amount of times. wrap it the same amount of times, which is about 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That. So that they look nice and even. Move that there. So that it looks nice and even. But the loop is lopsided, so I'm going to move the loop like that, so that the loop is nice and straight. That. See? Just making sure that the loops are the same size and that the space between the bead and the hoop is the same size. And then we're going to cut off this excess wire again. And what I like to do is kind of hold the bead with my flat nose pliers. And I can just move that up a bit more. Right, that's ready for cutting. So what I'm going to do is the same thing again. Take my cutters, take the side of it, the flat side, and get in and cut it and then tuck it in. It can be a little bit tricky trying to tuck that in sometimes, but anyway, I'm gonna just do that. And this piece of metal might jump over there, so just have that in mind. There's nobody around you for it to drop on. Right, because see, it shoots over there. Right, we've got this annoying little piece, so I will bring my flush cutters and I'm going to chop more. Use the back of my cutters, chop it right in, and then the bit what's left, I'm gonna same procedure, gonna cut that bit off using the back of my pliers. Be careful with the bead, cut it off. So I'll move that bit in. I'm going to chop that piece off and then going to press the rest in, press that little piece in using my chain nose pliers. I'm going to kind of move it around gently and press it in. And the bead could become a little bit lopsided, so what I do is gently take my chain nose pliers on one side of the hoop and then my flat nose pliers, and what I'm going to do is hold both sides and kind of just tidy it up and, you know, straighten it up nicely. So your very first one should look like this. You should have the bead in the middle and the coils should look the same, should look even, and the hoops should look even as well. And if it's your first time, you just have to practice a lot. That's all you have to do, is practice a lot, and then you just kind of get used to it. So that's fine. So that's the first one. Yeah. So we're going to pick up another piece of wire. Right, we're going to do something. We're going to join it together. So we pick up another piece of wire. You're going to pick up your round nose pliers and go back. Make sure you go back to where that mark is. See me mark there. There's me mark. Then start down about 2 inches in. That doesn't look like 2 inches to me. But let me just give it a measure. 2 inch. Wow, 1.5 inches. Now I'll move it a little bit more. Right, 1.5 inches roughly. Side. Make sure that, let me turn it around. So I want to be able to see my mark, my little piece of Tipex. So I know that I want all the hoops to be even. Now that does not look like, okay, that is on a bit. Right, so what we're going to do again, something a bit different, but you know, so what we're going to do now that this is, sorry, I just want to focus. Right, so now that this is it here, you've got the wire going across the round nose pliers, you've got the wire next to that white mark, so that the hoops are the same size. Right, you're going to take your finger and you're going to do that again. You're going to turn it all the way around. Turn it all the way around to make a P. Take out the round nose pliers, take it out, like that, and then you should make a P shape. Should have a P shape like that. Right, so we're not going to close it yet. What we're going to do is pick up the H for happy, and then we're going to just put it on and just join it on like that, so that it's hanging downwards. Right, so that's hanging down like that. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is pick up flat nose pliers, because we don't want to kind of hold that hoop. Leave this dangling. We want to hold that hoop. Hold this hoop here, like so. Hold that, and then what we're going to do is take the shorter piece, and we're going to twist it 2 to 3 times, keeping the coils near to the twirls or the coils near to each other, really near to each other, but not tight, but not over tight, because it's going to kind of break like that. Okay, so that's enough times. So it should look something like this. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to not try it. This hoop's a little bit lopsided, so I'm going to just gently move it so that it's in the center, like that. Just going to gently adjusting it so the hoop is central, and then afterwards we're going to cut off this little piece here and tuck it in. So the back of the flush cutters, like that. Going to go close to it, chop it off. This is going to fly, so don't have anyone about, because they'll get wire flying at them. Chop it off, that. Then tuck this end. I'm going to chop a little bit more, like that. Straighten it a bit, and then we're going to pick up our chain nose pliers and then just tuck this in, tuck in this little piece like so, tuck round and kind of position it round like that. You don't know sharp pieces sticking out. And what I like to do is push this back in to where it will near where the mark is, and just gently kind of turn it in, because I like the hoop to be nice and central. Right. So it should look like this. H dangling and the hoops together, and that little piece tucked in, because we don't want no sharp edges. Then next, what we're going to do is pick up my A. That's if you're spelling that something, or your bead or whatever, and then so it'd be HA, happy. That. So what we're going to do next is pick up our round nose pliers again, and remember that mark. Place it at the mark where my little bit of Tipex is, because we want the hoop that size. And then you see where the space between the hoop and the bead, the size of the twirls or the curls or the coils, whatever you call it, I want it to be the same. So I pick up my little piece of paper, which I've drawn, my little piece of paper, twirl that around so it's like that size. Measured it again, so I measured that it's the same size on the other side. Yeah, it is. And then what I'm going to do is start turning this round, turn it, put it down like a P, and just start to turn it. Make the little coils one next to each other, like that. Then take out the round nose pliers. It's going to look a bit wonky, but what we're going to do, the same thing, push it back on and central the hoop. Centralize the hoop. I hate a wonky hoop anyway. Pick up the flush cutters again, the back of the flush cutters, go in and chop off that annoying piece. Have nobody around you because we're going to go very, very close. Go very, very close and chop it off. There we are. And then we're going to end up picking up our chain nose pliers and tucking in the excess wire. Just go round and around. Then you'll carry on by taking another piece, pick up your round nose pliers, go down about 1.5 inches again. See, about 1.5 inches again, and then we're going to do the P. Okay, make sure that the wire is at that white little mark that you've made on your round nose pliers. Turn into a P loop like that. Straighten up. And then simply slide it onto the next one like that. And then I'll just do the coils. That to hold that, and just do the coils again. Try and keep them near to each other. And the same amount of coils like the other ones. Turn it and keep them the same. And you just repeat the procedure until you have enough beads or words like before. So we're just going to repeat it until I have the whole word, which is happy. All right, then I'm going to thread on the last letter, which is a Y. Y there. And then pick up my round nose pliers. Look for my bit of Tipp-Ex. Yes, my Tipp-Ex is still there. A bit of Tipp-Ex. So the whole, this looks a bit too, I'll move that in, but I will measure it. Look. Yes, it's the same. So what I have to do is just bring it right around. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to hold it with my flat nose pliers. Or you could use your chain nose pliers and then just do the coils. But I like to straighten the hoop before I cut off the excess wire. Just kind of make it central. Make sure I cut that excess bit off. So it should look something like this. And it says happy, and I'm happy with it. Now the next thing we're going to do is just add on the chain. I like to pick up a jump ring with my chain nose pliers, and then all you have to do is thread it onto the piece of chain. Just have to thread it on the piece of chain like that, and then just thread it onto the end of the bracelet that you've made, and then close it in. You could use your flat nose pliers and just bring it in together. Just bring it in together securely so that it's closed. I like to kind of make it overlap and then spring it apart so it's really closed. So I've closed it in like that, and then you're going to simply repeat the procedure on the other side. Pick up that piece of chain and pick up your jump ring and just thread it on. Just going to thread it on like so, and then thread it onto the other side of the bracelet, and then just close it. You'd either close it with, and then just close it with your hand or with the, however you would like to close it, like so. Sometimes I just lose my hand and close it in. Bring it in nice and closed, making it nice and secure. Then the chain, if you're going to put one on, so get my Lobster Clasp. I'm using this one. I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to open it on the end of the chain. Take that and just slide it on. So I've just slide on the chain at the end and then close it. Just bring it together like that. So that's one side, and the other side I'm going to pick up my extender chain and put that on. I've got a little extender chain, so that's only because I don't know about the size of everybody's wrist. And then I'm going to simply slide it on to the end of the other chain. Simply going to slide that on there. And then we're going to just close it. Just bring it together and close it. All I have to do is put it on, so there it is. A lovely happy affirmation on with the extension chain. I love the way it's come out. So thank you so much for taking time out to watch my channel. If you like the channel, please press the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I try to make a video of a new creation every week by the end of the week. And also, if you want to follow me, I'm on TikTok. I'm quite new to TikTok, but I quite like them. I'm on TikTok and on Instagram and Pinterest. I put my links down below if you want to follow me. And also I have an Etsy shop. Please consider sharing this video to anyone else that wants to make some jewellery. And thank you so much for taking time out to watch my channel. Bye for now.